Okay, people. This is just domestic stuff here, right? I just want to put in my title, doing domestic stuff. As like, a housewife would do, or a mother would do, or perhaps a maid would do, right? It is July 22nd of 2024. Now, we know I got problems. For whatever freaking reason, I have problems. So, I've been not shopping online, right? Because, I'm at that turning point, right? Where, let's pay down bills, make plans to maybe move out one day, right? Something like that. And, so I've been refraining from buying food, basically. Right? So it's been about a month, really, since I put a order online. Almost a month, maybe a month, in around that time period. I've let Andre go to the store, to the local grocery, right, because he's learning his independence, right? He's learning how to walk in society without anyone beside him, and having to navigate around individuals where some of them might be compromised up here. Just saying. Because people are going bonkers, I swear. More and more people are going bonkers. Oh yeah. For different reasons too, it's not they do it for different reasons, right? You got the Punjabis, right, hanging onto the rail, trying to shake you off the rail to make you fall and get rid of you, right, with their issues. The young ones, mostly, right, at that, well, you can't even say mostly because it's the elderly that also provoke it, right? Because it's generational, where they're programmed to be financially literate by any means necessary, even if it means shaking your tenant off the rail to get rid of them. Okay, so those loopity-loops, right? And then we have the ones that, I don't know, like my problem with my son, that man downstairs. Literally, that man, if I came into a contact with a man like that and was forced to be in the situation that I'm in, but I had no blood, quote unquote, relations to him, oh, fuck no, people. Fuck no. I'd be out. I'd be gone. I'd be freaking gone, man. But, my situation is so vulnerable, right? Because I've got the kids and, I'm rooted in this house and there's been a lot of tragedy and, I'm facing my own, I don't know, is this a health issue? Going blind? Right? Like, what the fuck? So I'm stewing because of what's going on because they're still throwing my shit out. As I'm taking it out. I'm taking it out. I don't know where to put it, but I'm trying to accommodate their needs, right? By giving them, quote unquote, more space, when in fact they should fucking move out and get their own space. But besides that point, that's where it goes Looney Tune in today's society, where, who was I I was listening to Latrice Allen. I couldn't believe when this came out of her mouth, people. Not that I'm gossiping, but, okay? Because it's the same issue that I have. Her son, Courtney, who's 18 or so, right? 18 years old. Now, the difference between Latrice and myself are quite wide, really, when you think about it, right? In terms of the way I'm going to say this, okay? But initially, she's been helping him out, right? Because, he moved out and wants to be independent, but obviously he's 18 years old. He's not capable of doing that because I guess he doesn't work a full-time job. right? And any job, he's wanting for himself apparently is something on YouTube or TikTok or like videos, like his mom, right? Okay. So in the meantime, she's been paying his rent and stuff. Or at one point, maybe he ended up back home and I don't know. Anyway, she's gone on about how she don't want to live with him. Nope. Because she was charging $500 for the room rent, for the month to live in the house, right? And I guess he didn't want to pay it. And I don't think he's in the house now. I think he's gone. But she said that if it ever came down to it and he came back, now, I mean, she's just a hustler. She could be just talking game here, right? Because she likes to cruise other people's freaking, videos and listen to their problems and then import those problems into her life so that she's got something to talk about while she blabbers on. Okay. But you know what? I don't think I'm the only person that's going through what I'm going through with that man downstairs in terms of, I want you to leave. I'm not leaving. Well, what do you mean you're not leaving? Get the fuck out. No, I'm not going anywhere. Well, I'm going to call the cops. So what? Go ahead, call the cops. I'm not going to do anything. You have to take me to court. You got to evict me. I'll see you in court. You have to evict me, Mom. And I'm like, oh my God, this is stupid. So, of course, Latrice Allen was saying that before she'd allow her son to move back home and pull a fast one like that on her, when he started acting up or whatever, refused to pay rent or whatever, and she's saying, get the heck out, and he's saying, no, I don't have to. Take me to court. You can evict me. I mean, you tend to believe it because this is the same crap that my 33-year-old, well, at the time he was 32 years old, son telling me with all this bullshit that's been going on that doesn't stop people. So, of course, I've been mumbling underneath my breath all day. I'm encloaked with this negative energy that I can't shake off because, I'm brooding, right? And I'm fearful. You see, that's another thing. I'm fucking fearful. And, I can see the different angles that they're doing what they're doing towards me in terms of the physical part, the psychological part, the emotional part, right? Where it's like, for example, people, I think my son said he's seen I was supposed to be talking about online shopping. Anyway, I think my son said because I asked him for that tall heater in case, the gas goes out, right? In the middle of the winter, I need something to keep myself warm until the repair guy can come. It's an old house, old furnace, right? Anything could happen, right? And he said it was up by the deep freeze, so it should be there. The next time I go down, I'm going to double check and make sure that he's not confused with something else. And it's mine, right? Because, I paid $150 for that thing, and I bought it off of Facebook Market. I paid $150 for it, and it was like practically brand new, and it's a really good one, eh? And it's a tall stand-up one. And when it gets real cold, and if I'm having a problem up here, I can use it. If the gas should shut down because the furnace broke down or something like that in the middle of the winter, freaking 25 below, like, I've got a little something to keep us warm up here, right? Alright, so that problem's been solved because I wasn't sure where that was. But when I say fearful, I mean, like, I don't know what to expect when I go, into the garage, out to the driveway, or what I'm going to find on the inside. And because I'm getting paranoid with what I'm going to find, especially on the inside, well, both sides, really, outside, inside, doesn't matter, right? I'm looking for things to go look for to see if my suspicions are true, in terms of they're still throwing out my shit. In other words, I went out there, yesterday, day before, when I did that little video with the records. I had already taken out a whole bunch of shit. You know, I'm struggling to find places to put it before it gets ruined from the elements, the weather, right? As the weather changes, right? And if it rains, that's even worse. I'm trying not to look back and have regrets doing what I'm doing in terms of disrupting my life, right? And sacrificing my belongings. Because in the end, I end up basically, well, a lot of it's being lost. Whether it's chucked out, broken, chucked out, put on the road, chucked out, fucking given to somebody, chucked out, whatever. I don't ever get it back. We're talking thousands of dollars being accumulated here, okay? With my son now, as of late, he's got his eyes on the fucking food and is saying that we need to start maybe thinking about, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what you were thinking when you did this, you know, obviously there's a problem. And he's begging for the fight, people. I told you it would be something else, right? And, you know, he's old. Yeah, well, before you throw that word old in my face, let me remind you that Andre and I just ate a home canned jar of beans from 2015, and I just, like, opened up a jar of salmon from 2014 that I canned with Uncle John. And they were good. We're not talking fine. We're not talking okay. We're talking good. Big difference. I would highly doubt, this is all domestic crap here, okay? For us, you know, hardcore fucking mules that have, I don't know what's on our back, but it's more than one whip, that's for sure. Okay? Because we would know that a can of beans in a metal can sitting in a cupboard for 11 years more than likely wouldn't make it. In other words, it's going to react for whatever strange reasons beans do it. I don't know. But they're like a tomato. They eat the can from the inside out. And then they leach out. I've had a lot of cans in my house, people. Tomatoes are the worst. Tomato soup, whatever, anything with a lot of tomato. They don't last for years and years and years and years and years in a metal can. But they will if you can them in a jar. Providing that the lid on the top isn't compromised, even if there's oxidization in it on top of the jar. Oxidization is fine, but if some little something got in there and it ate through the metal and it went through and it started rusting underneath, then obviously there's something wrong. But you're not going to get this leaching out shit that goes on with these metal cans. And beans do it. So I'm happy. I'm already conniving because I'm going back to my comfort zone, because when you're injured, okay, when you're injured, I'm injured, people. I'm being injured constantly here, okay? I'm not even going to put a fucking day on it, okay? Where you either going to pick up the bottle and start drinking, if that's your comfort zone, right? To I don't know, remove yourself from your problems. I don't know. Or some people drink. Some people use sex as that device, right? Some people use shopping. That's another one, right? And so on. Mine is like canning. Like, I so want to take a fucking break from this bullshit crap that's going on. What's the right word? Rebellious. I'm not being vindictive. I'm not being spiteful. I'm being rebellious. If I just say, to hell with it, I'm buying myself, since I haven't shopped for a month and I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. I've been disciplining myself to start focusing on my bills. And I've been avoiding shopping. I've been giving Andre some time to build some self-confidence, walking out into public, you know, from point A to point B and getting home safely, right? That kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm on the verge of, I don't know what here, as if I want to stay on this stupid bandwagon and really push myself over the edge, right? In terms of, I need a break. So what's the best break that I can do? Well, I don't drink, so that's out of the question. You know, I'm not into drugs, so that ain't gonna feel nothing. I do have a date maybe in 2 or 3 months from now with a man that has an eyesight on me, and I got eyesight on him, but it's not on the priority list. So you can't say sex is my device, right? I'm just trying to be cocky here, but you right? I mean, what else is there? Canning. And I'm like, okay, well, you have to be selective. Don't forget, you got to do the blackberries. At least a few jars. But I'm not satisfied with that. As a matter of fact, Andre, I need you to go check those blackberries. Okay?
Yesterday.
And what are they doing?
Going a little bit black.
Yeah, they're not quite ready yet. More towards August. So I got 2 weeks to get ready for blackberries. So I got to buy I'm just going to cut to the chase and buy myself a case of jars. And I'm going to can up 12 freaking jars full of beautiful blackberries. And Andre and I are going to try really hard to make blackberry pie this year. But here's the problem. As I'm adding to the food, but trying to be selective about it, because as I'm looking online, trying to be selective about, well, okay, you have a problem here. You obviously have a strong need to can something. We know salmon is on the list, but do you really want to do salmon? No. Well, what about, why not buy some red potatoes or something? That's easy to do, right? 40 minutes, 1 quart size jar, right? And if I'm shopping on Canadian Superstore, I like to get my 10 pounds of imperfect red potatoes, right? And, for 20 pounds, I like to get my 20 pounds of red, and they usually come in quite nice, of red imperfect potatoes for $10, which is good. But the thing is, it's too much at one time. So the last time I did that, I ended up cutting them up, remember, made into French fries, blanched them, and dehydrated them. And so, like, seriously, I don't know how much I'm going to see in the next 3 or 4 months, and, like 5 months, 6 months, a year. And so that's another reason why I kind of want to do the canning, because, get it on now while you can still do it, because in 6 months from now, you might not be able to do it. But, even, and plus, it would be nice to have, and I've got some downstairs, which I can actually switch them around. So if I did, how many ever jars? 7 jars at least, quart size, of red potatoes for a measly less than $10. That's a pretty good price, people. And take them downstairs and take out the ones that are down there from years and years and years and years and years ago. And I do have to check them anyway, right? And use those newer, older ones first with putting the new ones there, right? But just like, I don't know, people. Nothing's safe downstairs. It's nothing safe. So physically they're being, well, mostly my son. My son is being abrasive, aggressive, can quickly get hostile if he wants to, right? Aloof, in terms of, I don't want to talk about it, you're lying. And then turn his head and start walking away, right? So that is emotional. psychological dysfunction, abuse towards me, right? The physical is the manhandling of my personal belongings or whatever, mixing them up. Some are disappearing completely. Some I have to wonder and guess where they are. And then if I make inquiries, I get played off like it's nothing in terms of trivializing whatever it is that I'm feeling, thinking, trying to say, and what I'm left with. Okay? And of course the emotional part is just the, I don't know, physical through what, DNA attachment that I have with a man downstairs? What binds me, what holds me to that man outside of neither one of us can afford to move out because our governments have failed the Canadian-born people with their political agenda to replace us with a, I don't know, you know the cycle that we're in right now with this migration replacement shit that's going on. And so by default, we just get stuck with each other, where one is bigger than the other, where one is better to be a bully than the other. You know, my son is, it's easy for him to be a bully. It's not easy for me, people, to be a bully. But it sure in the heck fucking is easy for him. And then he gets his wife to jump on board to bully me at a snap of a finger as they're sneaking around taking and throwing out my shit or doing who knows what. Still doesn't stop. Like, what the fuck, man? As he's now saying, well, I think, some of this food, it's like maybe not no good. And I'm like, well, you better slow down because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Didn't cost you anything any more than anything else you fucking thrown out already. And the thing is, people, I'm going, and the whole point of all of that, is I'm in a position right now in my life where I look at these things online as if I was in the grocery store and what do I want to buy? And I'm like passing over everything. I'm passing over it. Don't need it. I don't need it. Don't want it. I don't need it. There's nothing there that I want. No, I don't think so. No, I can put that off for 5 fucking years if I wanted to. Or maybe I'll think about it next year after I use up a little bit that I got around the house. In terms of the things that I like to buy. Right? Not to mention what I canned. Or maybe would like to can just as my downtime. Why do I have to go out and get fucking drunk in order for people to say, well, obviously your mom's on some downtime here. Clearly she's got issues. What, do I have to be a fucking drunk before people realize that I got fucking issues going on with that man downstairs and that person that, it's stupid. Because I'm just railing. I'm railing right now. I rail from the time I go to sleep to the time I get up in the morning, and I rail all fucking day. And they want me fucking railing. That's the point. That's why they keep fucking doing what they do. And then throw in a freaking boomerang, and I'm in that little, that little room, right? Like 14-year-old storage unit area, right? And, we opened up that cupboard where the hinge had been popped off and then fucking put back on to make look it was normal, so that when I opened it up, I guess they weren't expecting it for it to come completely off, right? Because that was the only reason I would have known why it happened. That's God talking to me, telling me somebody's fucking with your shit. You better be fucking careful here. Okay, that's the heebie-jeebie vibes that I'm getting here, people. And then taking out God knows what and putting in whatever that didn't make no freaking sense in terms of long-term food storage, where you don't want people to get to your more expensive food. And that isn't tomatoes from 2015. Trust me. Right? And a big jar of seaweed, as if. Okay, that's bad enough I had to go through that experience. What is that? Psychological fucking warfare? Emotional? Like, holy shit, what the hell? I was flooded with, oh my God, what, right? I'm still feeling it, right? You can't, the only way you can classify anything physical in that, it isn't a direct hit. It isn't a direct fucking kick. It's none of that, okay? What it is the stress of the body, right? The stress of the body from the psychological and the emotional cortisol that is being cortisol, right? That's constantly going in your brain where it begins to make you sick. Because it's physical. And this is why I'm going to pay down my fucking bills. I'm going to sign up with fucking, what is that called? Subsidized housing. You see all this shit? Yeah, you go ahead. You scatter my shit around. You make it look like I'm a fucking Looney Tune. But at the end of the day, I can still fucking hold it together. There's paperwork in there that I have to do, but I can't do it until I get my notice of assessment. And once I get my notice of assessment, that little pile will shrink. Okay? And then I can, pull in another fucking envelope and start filling it out for subsidized housing and get the hell out of this stupid house. Seriously. Well, I still have a chance. Because, like I said, it doesn't fucking stop. Alright, I'm in this little room, doing whatever, right? Tearing it apart for my son, because I love him, right? You know? Trying to make it as best as I can for his wife, to some degree or another, other than, well, I guess I'm stuck with you and take it as is. Right? Right? Be happy you got it. But it's never been about that. Right? Judy is the problem. Okay. So anyway, I go into the other wall unit, and this is what disturbs me, because John's wife, Joan Duncan, had some serious fucking mental health issues. And I went through that with her when she lived with me. And she was doing some weird shit. Okay? Well, now I'm in that one where I opened it up and it smelled really good up on top, right? Yeah, okay. And then at some point I went into pull out the drawers, right? I opened up a drawer, and what's inside the fucking drawer? A box of Borax. I'm like, okay, where did this come from? It doesn't make no sense. Because I like to keep my laundry products together in case of an emergency. We all know where it is. Or I make my own soap. So when I need my soap, whether it's the hard bar soap, whether it's Borax, whether it's baking soda, like washing soda, whether it's baking soda, or whatever, it's all together in the same area, in the same box, between box and box and box. You ain't sitting like a lone star in some food storage area in the middle of a drawer, practically by itself, as if it couldn't be glaring in my face enough, people. That is psychological fucking warfare. Why? Are you trying to tell me you're going to start poisoning my family? Is that it? Poison the fucking food? Like, what the fuck's going on here? Because I sure in the fuck didn't put it there. I would never do that. Never. You don't mix Borax with fucking food. So I got that playing on my mind, people. It's like that empty fucking egg carton sitting up by Auntie Shemay's fridge. The eggs were gone, but the carton was there. Okay. Well, that wasn't Marcane. He just run off with the carton. Right? So, and I don't think he's putting Borax in my food storage area. That's not his style. Unless he's gone bonkers. And I just don't know about it. Unless, of course, I've got somebody in my house that is similar to Joan Duncan. Which makes me want to leave more. Because I don't feel safe. How can I trust my son to do my bills for me? Do this, do that, do that. When I can't. And I can't communicate with him, people. So anyway, besides that point, I'm sitting here, going deep into my comfort zone. I'm going deep into it. I'm getting rebellious here, people. I'm warning you now. I'm thinking to can 7 quarts of red potatoes. I don't need to dehydrate because I've already got some dehydrated. But if I'm going to buy potatoes, I like my 20 pounds for $10. Works good for me. So it's nothing for me to can 7 quart-sized jars of red potatoes. Right? So I'm thinking to do that, but in light of how busy I am, it's somewhat irresponsible. Because my energy should be fixing my landlady's porch. Or maybe fixing the fucking fence for my landlady. Or maybe going downstairs and doing something for my son and his wife. If it's not over there, it's got to be over there. And then, of course, we've got the garage and got everything else. And then we've got whatever we got going. There's always something somewhere for me to be by somebody that wants me to take care of that problem first. Yeah, okay. But I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like maybe but I'm like looking at my kitchen, I'm like, you're nuts. Why are you doing this? Well, I don't have to can. I could buy the potatoes today and have them delivered tomorrow. I don't have to can them right away. I can can them anywhere between now and the next week or so. So buy them now and then you don't have to worry about it. Right. And let me tell you something though. I'm debating with this because I have to take Mari out for an appointment. This is where I'm disciplining myself. Not only am I not been spending money online because I don't need it. Unless of course maybe my son and his wife threw it out, then I might need it again. But right now, as far as I know in my mind, I don't fucking need it because I know what I have, right? Or at least most of it. Right? So, we got to go out with Amari, because Amari has, general checkups, whatever. And I told him, I think we're going to, CIBC Bank is up with some shady shit here, people. I have to go to the bank in person to put $5 into Andre's trust account that Uncle John and I opened up when Andre was illegally apprehended in January of 2013. That account still requires 2 signing signatures, really, to do anything with it outside of deposit money and get a statement. Okay? It requires John's signature and my signature. Well, because I don't get out very much, I don't get to do very much, whatever it is, and, it's been sitting dormant. So before they put it into inactive and then try and close it that way to hide what they did to Uncle John with the medical kidnapping, with the help of one corporation helping the other corporation so that both corporations could benefit from it, including their employees. I have to go there in person. So I've decided that I'm going to take a Sky train to the mall, go to the bank, get on the Sky, go back to the mall, and then take a bus to go to the appointment, because otherwise I'm looking at $25 one way in taxi. And because I only have really 2 strollers for Amari, that one that clearly is, you know, I mean, sturdy, at least it holds his weight. But he's getting long and lanky, right? This other one I have, I keep it right now because even if I was to buy a new one, I have really no place to put it. Obviously I'm being flushed out of the basement, so you can write that one off. And I can't leave it in the garage, especially I can if it's an older one, but not if it's a new one, right? And I wouldn't do that. There's no room for it upstairs. So long story short, I've been using the old one that I have until I just won't be able to use it anymore. So I said, Andre, okay, we're going to go and we'll walk and we'll take the SkyTrain and Mano will go to the bank, make sure I keep your account open. And because come winter time, hopefully I'll be a bit more organized. And I've been saying it, and I'm going to do it, people. I'm going to gather up all my fucking court papers, right? Blah blah blah, and I'm going to send it to the CEO of Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce in Toronto. And I'm going to ask them to investigate that particular bank that did what they did. And that their bank committed fraud, and that's why Uncle John's signature is still required on that little trust account. The man's been dead since 2018. He was medically kidnapped. I'm sorry, in 2000. Yeah, he was medically kidnapped in basically in January of 2015, where Andre was illegally apprehended in January of 2013. So before I sign off on that account, because the only way they're going to close it is what? It went dormant? I don't think so. No way. That's not dormant. I was led to believe that I could do it on phone because a month ago or so, I asked them to put $5 into that account. And the guy said he did it. And then he said he gave me a reference number to which I need to find, because when I phoned today the bank, they tried to tell me it never went through and that I have to go to the bank in person to do it. Otherwise, it would require 2 signatures to have that little trust account assigned to my regular bank card. That's how fucked up everything is. Like, that's some shady shit. Come on, John, wake up. You're not dead. You've only been laying in that, I don't know what they did with your body, but wherever it is, you've only been there how many years now? Oh, you died in 18, January, so we'll just say 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 7 fucking years? Come on, you've been sleeping long enough. Wake up, John. I need you to help me. Yeah. So since I have to go out, I'm like, okay, Andre, I know me, people. If I get into a grocery store, oh my God, I'll be pulling out, oh, well, I know I got money on this credit card. Oh, I know I got money on this credit card. And I could walk out with spending anywhere between $400 to $800 depending on what I was buying. But that was the good old days when I was still kind of stocking up on shit. I don't think I'd go off and spend $800 because there's really no place to put anything anymore. And I don't need to, because anything I'd be buying I probably already have. So why the fuck would I buy it? But I'm under fear, though. I'm under fear because now I'm being told, preparing me. Oh, I told you I was going to start throwing out old food. No, you didn't tell me that. Yes, you did. You gave me permission. No, I didn't. You just said that you were thinking about it. I told you not to do it. Well, that's not what I heard. That's how he talks to me, people. Like, what the fuck? You come to my window, you say, okay, we would like to, I'm just saying, Mom, listen, we want that little closet in the hall there and take everything out and put it underneath the steps. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but what will happen to the VCRs? Well, I don't know. We can go out in the garage. Yeah, okay, no big deal to you, but besides that point, all right, no, I don't want that to happen. Like, just leave it with me. I'll see if I can put those videos into Tisha's room after I get, right? Okay? It wasn't even the next 2 fucking days. They had already switched things around. And so when I found out about it, I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, why did you do that? Well, you said I could. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. And then just blew it off like it was nothing, people. I never said that. And what a big disappointment, because Marina said, oh, I didn't realize how small it was. I said, exactly. Because she was disappointed it wasn't as big as she thought she was going to get. Because prior to that, my son didn't give a rat's ass about it. Fucking 14 years, until all of a sudden he showed up at my window, and the next day it was fucking gutted. And I don't even know where that... well, I know where that shit is supposed to be, but I'm finding some of that shit outside, which are parts to making wine that I paid good money for. And I don't understand why they're outside. And that was just 2 days ago. That's what I mean. So anyway, I don't need to buy a lot of fucking groceries here, people. But I shouldn't have to sit here and fucking worry about my food either. You know, it's enough. It's one thing being kind of worried about it, but not like to the degree that I'm starting to get worried about it. Right? In terms of, has it been disappearing? And sure, all that fucking canned salmon. Now, there was a bag that I came across when through all that. It had some kind of canned salmon in it. But I don't think it was that was underneath the cupboard there. No, because underneath that cupboard would have been more like sockeye salmon, the more expensive fucking shit. My honey jars, I don't know if they're all there or not. Maybe some went missing. I don't know. But they would have been sitting on cans. They took out the cans. I pack my shit tight. I utilize my space wisely. I mean, it's only freaking potatoes. I offer my son potatoes when I buy them in big bags like that, and sometimes he takes them, but sometimes he doesn't, because he says he doesn't eat a lot of potatoes. So, you know, I don't want to dehydrate them. Putting them in my bedroom thinking I'll get to 20 pounds of potatoes in a reasonable amount of time, it ain't going to happen, right? You know what I'm saying? So I have to kind of do something with them, right? So I'm thinking maybe can them this time. Half of them, at least half. Maybe 3/4, depending. 7 jars anyway. And then switch them around from the ones downstairs. Or whatever. Because they're good potatoes, but you kind of have to get to them right away. Right? And it's too hot, and I don't have no room in my bedroom to be putting potatoes. So I'd have to can them up within the week. Which, for me, is my comfort zone. Like, it's my downtime. It's like my getaway. Leave me alone. I'm in my zone. You know, which isn't a bad thing. You know, but psychologically, you know, I'm being molded to think that it is. In addition to, I'm being frightened as to, well, if you're going to put borax there, close to this, that, and every fucking thing else around here, where else are you going to put the borax? Because it sure in the hell wasn't me. Which makes me want to move. But I can't move yet. And before I pick up a bottle or snort back some drug, I pull out my pressure canner. Oh yeah. And be a rebel. Go buy myself a case of jars. reward myself for working so hard downstairs, putting up with the bullshit that I have to put up with, and then still find my shit outside. And then wonder what the hell's going to happen next. Yeah. It's enough to give you a bloody nervous breakdown, I'm telling you. So I'm plotting and scheming here. Because I told Andre, if we take the bus, go to the bank, then take the bus to the doctor's office, I won't be paying $25 for a taxi one way. That's for sure. Maybe $7. That's not bad. Right? But the secret is, I can't cross the street and go into the grocery store. Because if I go into the grocery store, I haven't been in one for a long, long time, I'm going to come into contact with a whole bunch more sales. And that's a trigger for me. Oh, yeah. And I'd be like buying this and buying that and buy. End up spending anywhere between $3.50 to get my deal, especially if I go to Canadian Superstore, up to who knows. Who fucking knows? Because you know I'm cruising the dollar store after that, right? I don't want to spend a dime. Andre, we're getting on the SkyTrain, going to the bank, your account is active. Uncle John and I, we're still fighting the good fight, okay? We're not letting the bank off that easy. Right? And, go take the bus to the doctor's office. After the doctor's office, take a bus home. And then the SkyTrain. Easy peasy, or walk. And if you really want to go shopping after you've done all that, walking with it broken down, half broken down, well, it's not broken down, but it's an old stroller, right? You know, you can't fold it up, though, you see, that's the thing. So if I take it with me, I'd have to get a van, which costs even more money, $35. Oh, yeah. And if I go grocery shopping after the doctor's office, I'd have to get a van. So I'm looking at least $35. Well, some of these taxi drivers charge $10 extra for the van, where I've had one try and charge, well, he charged me $15 to have the van because of the buggy and the groceries and that kind of stuff, right? So, and that's not including the $25 fee to get us home from one location to the other. So you're looking at anywhere between $35 to $40 one way to take Amari to the doctor or come home. Two ways, $60 to $80, depending. Yeah. So I just told Andre, no, we're avoiding. I think Nana's going to shop online. I said, I think I'm going to do my little shopping online. You know, get it out of my system. We'll get the milk. I want milk bread, right? That's mainly why I offered Andre $20 to go buy me some milk and bread, but he doesn't want to go, so I ain't pushing it. So I said, okay, well, you know, I don't want to go inside the grocery store. No fucking way. I'm too depressed. I already thinking to myself, well, if I go, I'm going to buy that jar again. You know, that square kind of one. I want one more at least. I'll buy canning jars. I'll do this. I know if I see something really good in canned goods, even though I don't need no canned goods, but it's at a really good price, like $1 a fucking can, I'm buying all of them. At $1 a can, damn right I'm buying them. Except for tomatoes. I wouldn't buy tomatoes at it. Unless, of course, I decided to give them, here, son, here's a box of canned tomatoes. I got them $1 each. Eat them now. Between now and the next 6 months. Go nuts. You take half, I take half, but I'm not interested in tomatoes. Tomatoes gave me a headache. My tomatoes from 2015 disappeared. Didn't know where the hell they were. And then I found them in a place they had absolutely no right to be in. Stupid. Completely stupid. I'm supposed to be moving around, using up a lot of energy, but I'm obviously tired today. I'm getting to the point where I just kind of want to lay down and rest again. So yeah, I'm looking at this. trying to decide what the right decision is. And the right decision is go to the doctor, take the bus back, and stay the hell out of the grocery store. That is the first thing, right? And if you really need something, which I do, milk and bread and eggs, right? And a few other miscellaneous. Huh?
Milk and bread?
Yeah, milk and bread. I'll get eggs. I'm going to buy at Canadian Superstore because then I can buy the bigger bulk. So I'll buy the bag of oranges for $7, the bag of apples for $8 or whatever. Like they're big bags, right? And we'll put them in the fridge right away. Some of them downstairs, because there's an empty pull tray down there. Yeah. Right. And since I'm buying in bulk like that with the imperfect apples, imperfect potatoes, imperfect freaking oranges or whatever, right? You know, just be done with it. And then this way, when I walk by the grocery store after I'm done with the doctor's appointment, I won't feel so compelled through depression or whatever it is that gets my dopamines growing when I'm in the grocery store or anywhere buying food. Right? Those dopamines are like, oh yeah, this is great. You know, they'll be already fired off because I'm doing the shop now. So that's why I'm kind of conspiring. Because, speaking of that, I should probably buy some cat food since I'm doing this. Because I noticed that cat food's getting a little low. So, to try and prevent myself from shopping next week, because that's what I was doing when I was doing the food prep. I was shopping every week in large quantities of what I wanted to, I guess you could say, stock up on as a prepper, right? And you've seen that for the ones that watch my videos off and on. I show you, right? I even walked you through how I order and how I end up saving $100 or $150 off my bill just by doing it that way. But I don't even really need to do it that way anymore. So, you know, it would have to be, like I say, going inside the store, walking by, and finding coconut milk at $1 a can, to which I've done that before at Canadian Superstore, and I bought them all, and I still have them. And that stuff will sit in a can for a long, long, long time. So that was a good investment. But I don't want to be enticed to do it again. And if I seen it, when I go to that appointment, that would entice me. $1 a can for coconut milk? Oh yeah. I don't even want to put myself in front of temptation. So now I have to figure out exactly what I want to buy here. Within reason. But I feel the need to can something for whatever strange reason. Because we know I've got salmon on my mind, but I don't feel like dealing with fish because my kitchen's gumped up right now, right? Too much shit going on in there right now. And when you can salmon, you want to can it with love. Really, you do. You know, you got to be in the zone. Potatoes, you know, that's just a quick blanch them, throw them in the dehydrator. Great. Potatoes, peel them, right? Cut them up, soak them. You get the added benefit of the potato starch after the fact. And yeah, you just pop it in a jar, 40 minutes. Quart size, 7 quarts. That's all I want. And I'll still have enough red potatoes from that 20-pound bag. The russet potatoes, they got 20 pounds for $10. That's a good price. And because it's coming from Canadian Superstore, they really come in actually quite fresh when I buy it this way, right? But again, that's too many potatoes. So whether we give maybe a few for them downstairs, whether they want them or not, they're welcome to have them. Otherwise, in that situation, I might be forced to just cut to the chase and peel them, blanch them, right, and dehydrate them, and keep and if I do it within a short period of time from getting them, anything that I peel will be nice and fresh. You can also blanch those and then dehydrate them, which I did with the last batch of red potatoes, and I found that it worked out pretty good. Right? I just don't have time to do a lot of cooking and crap like that, right? And before I'd buy a small bag of red potatoes for $7.99 for 10 pounds, I'd rather 20 pounds for 10 bucks. But by doing that, I create myself work. Not only do I have to can 7-quart size jars of red potatoes, but I gotta find some time to dehydrate, at least a half to 2/3 of a bag of russet potatoes, just so that I'm not throwing my money away. But I don't drink. I'm not off at the discotheque man chasing or anything like that. I'm not shopping. As a matter of fact, I'm conspiring to not shop. Right? You know, I just explained that to you. And I don't overeat in terms of how people use eating as a means to comfort themselves. I don't do that. So yeah, I'm looking at this. So, okay, so what am I buying? I was going to talk about that. One celery at $3.49. It's cheaper to buy celery at Walmart, but with Walmart, it's a hit and miss. I find that the produce, on average, not all the time, but on average is fresher than Walmart. But it really depends on what comes in, because I've bought a lot of fresh vegetables at Walmart when I was dehydrating, like the broccoli and the cabbage, and when all that was on sale. I did all that run, right? And they were coming in pretty good, except for maybe one item was kind of coming in wilted and stuff, but outside of that, either or. We got some celery, a bag of just carrots, 5 pounds, one bag, $7. The Chinese carrots, which are the large ones, how many? 7 for $11.20. Because really, I should try and maybe drink some carrot juice. Good luck, as if I'm going to start making juice. But I gotta incorporate that into my diet, just like I have to train myself to avoid grocery stores. A little bit of ginger. I got a bunch of organic carrots for $4 with the green leaves, which apparently you can eat, which I might try juicing. Some green onions, too. I have to replant what I have growing, because when they grow, we really like it. I chop them down, I cut them into little pieces, I dehydrate them, and then I put them in a jar, and we use it to sprinkle on noodles and whatever, and it's great. And they come out tasty. Like, they're stronger than what you buy in a grocery store, that's for sure. So the naturally imperfect russet potatoes, 20 pounds, I have to do something with them. So if I'm going to buy them, and I don't really ever see russet potatoes at 20-pound bags for $10. That's the first time I've seen it. It's usually the red potatoes, right? And I think mostly the red potatoes. And maybe a white potato once in a blue moon, you might get lucky. But I don't ever recall finding russet potatoes for this price, with them being quote-unquote imperfect, right? 20 pounds for $10 for russet potatoes, and I mean, I can't be 100% sure they're going to come in fresh, right? But chances are they'll come in pretty fresh, which will buy me a little time before I just say, to hell, I got time, let's just process them and, and then dehydrate. Because those ones, I'd probably make them into French fries and dehydrate them, and then right on the bag, russet French fries. Because I've already done red potato French fries. But I cut them too thick because I don't see that well anymore. But they're done now anyway. And then the naturally imperfect red potatoes, 20 pounds, again for $10. That's too much, and I don't want substitutes. So no, I'm removing that. No, we don't want substitutes in this situation. Give us what we want, right? I have a plan for these potatoes. Okay? And if they have them, which more than likely they will, we know that I have it on the roster where I'm wanting to can 7-quart size jars to reduce the bag down. Otherwise, they'll just start to spoil at some point, and I don't like that. But when I buy them like this, sometimes these red potatoes, they come in really big and nice. Oh yeah. Better than what you can buy in the smaller bags. 2 jugs of milk. Here's live lettuce, red. It's kind of expensive, $3.99. I have 3 of those things, or 2 anyway, of spinach, where if I would have cut it when I got it, put it in dirt, it'd probably be sprouting spinach by now. But, again, I get overwhelmed and I get distracted, and I don't even know what I'm going to find when I'm going to open up the fridge later. And I don't know if the spinach is good anymore because it sat there for about a week. It depends. It really depends on the state it was before it left the store, if that makes sense. The longer it sits at the store, the less time it's going to be good for you. If the store gets it and you get it right almost soon after, chances are, depending on where you've got it stored in your fridge, this stuff can last up to a week or more, depending on what it is, right? So I won't know anyway, but so okay. So I'm buying one of those to eat. I have to make it right away, at least one, and then take that piece and see if it will start growing, because that's the other part of me that is like, my comfort zone. I don't really have anything too much growing in terms of food in the yard, right? So, right? So, I feel like I missed out on that. So, I don't know. Because I was working out in the yard. I did try and do a few things, but I never got to finish what I was doing. So, therefore, nothing really more came out of it, which I'm willing to spend $4 for one head of lettuce to get the bottom part so I can cut to the chase and just stick it in some ground. And maybe in a month from now, I can just snip it and get my money, at least half of it, back. Plus, you want to figure out how you can do these things where they actually survive. Because I did that with lettuce. It was starting to grow. That's when I had it in that fish tank. But it didn't like it, and they died. So the fish tank's out. So you won't know until you try it again with something similar, right? Only these ones are like come with their own roots. So it's almost like you can plant it. And then we've got live leaf green. So we've got the live lettuce red, and we've got the lettuce green. So that's $8 just for that. That's where I'm kind of squandering money. But I'm kind of trying to self-educate myself to see how what it takes to make these things regrow at home successfully, where it becomes economical to do that, right? Like, I haven't had to buy green onions for months, but because after I moved things around a bit and I took out the tomato plants, you know, there was a time when I didn't water them for a bit and they all kind of died off. So I just cut them off, and there's some bald spots in there, so I just ordered 2 more green onions, and whatever comes, those will be put back in the ground, and yeah, they'll just start growing again, and then I'll have several months of green onions. We love it. 3 beefsteak tomato for $3.50 approximately. Some Romano tomato for 5 of them for $3.29. Now, the spinach is on sale right now. Yeah, $1.97. I'm rebelling here. But it would have to be something that needed to be done, like, my son will come up, poke his nose through the window. What are you doing, Mom? I'm cooking up a whole bunch of spinach. I can see that, Mom. Why? What are you going to do with all that spinach, Mom? Well, I was thinking about canning it, but I don't know if I can justify 70 minutes for, 10 bunches of spinach. But I think I'm just going to cook it all up at one time, strain it out pretty good, and put them into little plastic bags and stuff them around in between the freezers so that we have them handy. Whether Andre uses them for smoothies or whatever, or maybe me with my carrot juice might be a good idea, right? Or just with the meal. I'm just saying. And I'm saving 52 cents off of each spinach, and I'm ordering at least 10. And I don't know how big the bunches will be. But whatever. 10 is good. Because we just want to stop the firing. We want to stop the firing of the cortisol. Cortisol. Okay? That's when you're under stress and your brain is constantly going like this. That's what creates disabilities. That's what creates sickness, confusion, illness, whether mental illness or any other type of high blood pressure, whatever. People start, who knows, right? I think 10 bunches of spinach would probably calm my nerves, because I'm in my comfort zone with my big ass pot, cooking up my 10 bunches of spinach at one time. I should actually add in a couple of extra for good measure. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Just blanch them, dip them into some cold water after the fact, squeeze them out, bag them up, a little here, a little there, and then whatever was going on will be a whole lot more relaxed. Because it gives me time to prepare for the next physical act that I have to do when it comes to the manual labor of domestic work. The hard labor, the physical, real hard labor. I have to fix the porch, people. I'm putting that basically at the top of my list. That's what I was supposed to get onto today, was the porch, so that I can get up there and start stapling up that crap. But I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I can stop it from leaking, and I just don't know what to do, other than go around the yard and this is how desperate I am. It's like a sickness, but I have to try and prevent it from leaking, even if it's just for a while, right? When the rains come, that is. I have old swimming pools. I asked my son, don't throw them out. He said he didn't. Okay, whatever. I'm so desperate that I'm thinking to grab one of those big children's swimming pools, the big blue ones, right? And cut it in such a manner so that I can staple it up on top after I staple that other fucking stupid shit up there. So that as it's leaking, it's going to drip into the pool, right? But you put it on an angle so that the water runs off, hopefully away from the porch and over the rail. So that whatever I've got on the porch doesn't get wet. Like, that's some tacky shit. But I can't climb on top. Even if I was to tarp it from the top, it doesn't work. Because that's what happened when I first moved in. I got somebody to climb the roof, get up on the roof, throw the fucking tarp down. They tacked it down, but it didn't do anything because the water ran under the tarp into however it's connected with, right? Because they never sealed it properly when they installed it. And the beams, they didn't even put the fucking beams in properly in terms of their nails. So it's like, it's, you know, it's kind of like a precarious situation where that roof on my porch, with age, I've been here 14 years, people. It was already rotten when I moved in. Well, it wasn't rotten, but it was on its way, okay? What do you call it? Can't really hold too much weight. Now, I've had men up there. Like, I hired a guy at one point, a long time ago. But it's rickety, right? And just by the way they attach the beam from the roof of the porch with just a nail going in on an angle, and where they put it, I don't think so. You know, I'm pretty light. You know, it could probably hold me, but can you see me climbing up there on my hands and knees in between 2x4s and whatever, trying to, like, I'm in so much trouble with this porch, like, but that's basically, I don't know, kind of what it needs. Unless I'm, you know, like, okay, here we go. Let's talk about this for a minute, Lady Jane, if you're watching. I got a huge fucking problem with my porch. Seriously, you don't know. It's been a problem ever since I moved in. Every year. You can go into my videos every year. It gets that cortisol going. I haven't even gotten into the X Club and fucking cleaned that out yet. But I'm as soon as I get out on my porch, I'm going to start working my way, right? But yeah, no, like, you know, like, do we give Mama Peter the $500 for a cement floor with, you know, something to walk on and a couple of lanterns because she's sitting in the dark? And maybe some food or not, I don't know. Probably not, though, by the time you buy that other stuff, right? Or do I take that $500 and try and find somebody, quote-unquote, in the neighborhood and do it for me? Because it wouldn't be the first time I paid somebody to try and help me with this stupid shit. It never fucking worked before, so why would it start now? It wouldn't. So right there's your answer. You know, I'm almost at the point where, like, I have to cut my freaking losses with it, right? Because my landlord won't do it. No way. So now I'm looking at swimming pools to compensate, to catch the water, because it's thick plastic, right? And it will hold for a while anyway, and just have the water caught and then run. I don't care what it looks like. What I care about is the porch is dry for the most part. That's what I gotta go do. That's what I was gonna start getting ready to do, but instead I'm taking a detour, somewhat creating myself a little bit of work with the potatoes and the spinach. But I can space out the potatoes, and if I can do the spinach, if not tomorrow, really, I could prepare, right? I could get everything ready. I don't need a lot of space to do spinach. And as soon as it comes in, do it within a few hours. And then that problem is solved. And it's not because I need it, people. I got pureed spinach in a can, which they're selling at $5 a can now. Yeah. And, but that's Punjabi, and I haven't even opened up the can yet. I bought it for food prep with the vitamins and stuff in it. I'm still trying to figure out what I should do with it. But besides that point, and I got spinach in my fridge, but I don't know what kind of state it's in. And it would only be 2 or 3 of them. I think 3. But they're the ones that come with roots that I could replant. That's what I wanted to do, but I ended up going downstairs and then I put the 3 days in. So, you know, things just kind of got lost to the wayside. Okay, I don't know what happened here. Okay, so 12 spinach. Yeah, 12 spinach, which more than likely will be robust, is $24. And it's only spinach, so it's crunched down, right? I'm going to just prepare it for freezing. That's what I want to do, to make myself feel better. To make myself feel better. To get into my comfort zone. To calm down that freaking cortisol that's going crazy in my head. 5 zucchini. Navel oranges. That's $7. Where's my apples? I wanted apples too. I'm gonna get the imperfect apples. I should probably get a little more ginger too. I don't see the apples. So I gotta add apples. So what do you think?
Huh?
Oh yeah. What did you say we needed? I'm doing a video. I'm just whatever.
What did I say we needed?
Yeah.
Maybe cereal?
No. I'm not buying cereal.
Eggs.
Oh yeah, eggs. Good call.
You got bread, right?
No. No, I'm tired. I'm crashing here. But yeah, so I'm gonna get some eggs, get some bread. So when we go out,
And milk.
yeah, I already put the milk down. When we go out, we're not going to the grocery store. Not even for 2 seconds. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. It will be much cheaper for me to do it this way than any other way. Now you have a choice. Naturally best white eggs, large. And oftentimes I sit here on and I read, and these eggs can get pretty expensive. $7 for 12 eggs. Right. Extra large. Your regular no-name, whatever kind of egg is $3.89. So hold on a minute. Okay. I know. I'm looking at salmon. Andre, I asked you earlier to make me that coffee.
I'm making it.
Oh, I'm sure the water's boiling. This one says wild whole sockeye salmon, previously frozen. We're looking at $25.45. It's coming in at $8 a pound. So you know, 8.16. It's almost, yeah, 3 pounds, okay? But it's thawed out now, okay? So in other words, if I buy it, I'm going to be canning the next day. This stuff would go in the fridge ASAP, and I'd get up in the morning and I'd be canning it. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. $7.99 a pound. Now, if I go back, that one says, that one's listed as wild, right? That one's listed as wild. The pink salmon, the wild pink salmon, whole wild pink salmon frozen, I like those. They were nice. It worked out good for me. So I just put one there for now because it's coming in at $3 a pound, right? Otherwise, I'm looking at $5 to $6 for 16 grams or something if I buy it pre-canned. Whatever. Now this one here, it says frozen whole sockeye, headless and gutted, and it's only $17.35 for the same price though, right? $7.99 a pound. I don't know if that's farmed sockeye or wild because they don't have it listed as wild. Where the one that's thawed, they're listing it as wild. Yeah, and they don't even have anything here. They don't even have anything written. So I don't know if that is farmed. Because I don't want to buy farmed salmon. Sockeye, pink salmon, doesn't really matter. I really don't want to buy it farmed. I mean, I could try one frozen and one unfrozen. But how could you tell? How would you know? Right? How many pounds? Average weight is... Oh. It's not even a full 2 pounds. It's not even a full 2 pounds. So this is about a 2.5 pound fish. 2.5 pound fish. 14 and 4, 7, 8 and 8 is 16. So yeah. Where this other one that's already unthawed, it specifically says wild. And it's coming in at the same price anyway. Where is it? Come on. Where did I see you? Wild whole sockeye salmon, previously frozen. So I don't know if they're... Well, it's still $7.99, so it doesn't really matter, right? Where that other one could very well be farmed. Because here, Pacific salmon included, including Chinook, okay, whatever, Pacific, with a high fat ratio, right? Sockeye comes in with a high fat ratio. So it's not quote unquote fresh because it's been previously frozen. So I don't know. I don't know if I should get one or not. I'll add in, my bill is already, if I get these 2 salmons, my bill will be at like $240. That water is boiling. So there you go. I don't even have to go to the grocery store. Andre, the water is boiling. I can smell the burner. I can hear it. So if I'm pushing $300, if I'm only shy by $50, I might as well go for the full order and try and get my free gift, whatever that is. So celery, carrots, ginger, more carrots, green onions. We've got the russet potatoes, which half of them or more should be dehydrated into French fries or cut into squares for maybe hash browns or something. And then we've got the imperfect red potatoes, which we know, right? I'd like to do at least 7 7 jars canned. Okay, 2 milk, some spinach. Oh no, that's lettuce. And then try and regrow it again as an experiment to try and make it so that it actually regrows and stays growing. Right? And then live lettuce, green, same thing. And then of course we've got the 12 bunches of spinach. What's that? No, that's green lettuce. That's just normal green lettuce. So I'm getting just normal green lettuce as well. Thanks, Andre. Some tomatoes, more tomatoes, 12 bunches of spinach. We know what I'm going to do with that. Some zucchini, oranges, eggs, bread. I got the corn syrup, just cheap, 1 bottle. And then I'm going to try this one, which is golden corn syrup, which actually has a tad bit of iron in it, only because they add molasses. And I don't like the ingredients that are in this one, but for a quick fix, Andre and I both like to eat it. But if I can steer away from it, that's why I'm thinking to try this out. But I also make my own somewhat syrups. You know, apple peel syrup, blackberry syrup, that kind of stuff. But this is just a general standard syrup, right? So that's going to try that one. I've got some old corn syrup sitting up in my other pantry, but I can't get into it. But I'm sure you can use it for cooking or something. Anyway, and then it's just some basic generic cat food. If they don't have it, that's fine. I still got cat food. Plus, I talked to Andre about making cat food for Elsie downstairs. And I guess the cat's upstairs. Andre said, yeah, he'll make the cat food. Start thinking with Elsie in mind. But anything we make, we can feed to ours, because we just don't have to grind ours up as much, right? Elsie kind of has to have it soupy. And she's like 18 years old on her last legs. 19 years old on her last legs, and my son's getting kind of frustrated with spending $100 a month on cat food. I said, well, why don't you make cat food? You know, I did all that canning of the chicken and shit for that reason. So anyway, Andre's going to try and make cat food. So that's on the rasta. And then some garlic, the large ones. Right, and then just organic garlic, because I don't like them bleached. These are Red Delicious apples. I'm really not too fond of them, but because I'm shopping now, they're only $6. They're on sale, technically. Honestly, I should buy 2 bags and put some downstairs into the fridge downstairs, and if I can, maybe dehydrate some at some point in the future, because we're going to look at the tree down the road. But I've, already read on, wherever, and seen little news clips with my local area in terms of there's going to be an apple and peach, those kind of producing trees. Many of them just didn't bloom, and if they bloomed, their blooms died. So on average, a 5-pound bag of apples is like $10. Here, 7. So I added an extra one on just because. But then I also got this bag of apples, which is 5 pounds for $9. But usually it's 5 pounds for $10. But I thought I'd just get the Ambriosa apples. So we've got the Red Delicious with the Ambriosa, to which some of them will go downstairs. But I'm thinking to dehydrate some, because they hold up really well, people. I opened up that jar and, like, seriously, like, that jar is old with those apples, but dehydrate them and cook them into an apple crisp or something, last a long time. I mean, like, they'll be good, right? And they hold up to dehydrating very well, as long as you keep your jars in a cool, dark place, eh? Because I don't, it will keep me busy for a month. 3 weeks in between everything else that I'm doing. It will break up the monotony around it and stuff, right? And then, of course, we've got the fresh pink salmon headless, on sale right now. Okay, this is fresh, so it hasn't been frozen. Look at what the price that they put it at in terms of savings. You're saving a lot of money there. But for about I think a 3-pound salmon, almost a 3-pound salmon, that's maybe 2.5 pounds, I think. It's pretty cheap. But then, and this one is, okay, so that is the, yeah, that's the fresh pink. But it doesn't say wild. This one says wild. So anytime I see, I don't see the word wild in there, I'm a little nervous to buy it, right? Because it could be very well farmed, and I'm trying to avoid farmed salmon, eh? Here it says whole wild pink salmon, frozen. This one I don't mind. It comes in at $3 a pound, like seriously. And when the little ends and pieces that I had left over, what I didn't can for the cats, that is, I fried up for us, right? And it was delicious. Like, it was really, really good. Huh?
It's still in the fridge.
No, that's the one I opened. That's why I want bread. No, it's okay. It's fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, but I want celery with it, too. I want to make a salmon celery sandwich with it. Okay. It'll be fine till tomorrow. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, let me finish. So anyway, hold wild. So this one specifically says wild. And it's coming at $3 a pound. And if I'm canning and they're coming in frozen, that works good for me, because then what I do is I take a pot and I just pop them into the pot, right? 5 of them, 6 of them, or whatever. And then, yeah, I put them in the fridge, and it buys me a day or two. Because by the time I get to them, they're half frozen. So they cut really, really nice. Like, really nice. Right? And come to think of it, the difference between the two salmons is this one's $3.29 a pound because it's fresh. Where this one was probably flash frozen, flash frozen, right? And it's wild. So they freeze it right there out on the boat when they're catching them. So that's the best, eh? It's flash frozen. So I'm assuming this is flash frozen. And from what I worked with, it was pretty good. No regrets. And like I said, with the way just things are going, and I don't know. So anyway, but then I noticed this, and I've never seen this before. Wild whole sockeye salmon. If you're going to can, that's what you want. You want whole salmon, basically. Or at least fillets of salmon. But I'm not buying fillets of salmon. But just with the word wild, it's going to cost $25.45. Where's that other one? Where there should be the other sockeye, which is $17. I put it in there. Where did it go? Where did you go? I don't see it. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe they ran out. Let's just Google frozen salmon again and see what comes up. Oh, we're not Googling it. We're searching it. I didn't accomplish anything today. I'm so exhausted you don't even know. Yeah. And I'm pushing $300. Frozen whole sockeye salmon. Yeah, you see right here. Frozen whole sockeye, headless and gutless. It's cheaper at $7.99 a pound, but the other one was coming in at $7.99 a pound too, right? Yeah. This one was coming in at $7.99 a pound, and it specifically says wild. This one is coming in at $7.99 a pound, but they're bigger fish. Oh no, sorry. They're smaller fish. They're smaller fish, and that's why they're cheaper by $7. Which one would you buy? The one with the word that says wild? That's a little, I guess, bigger compared to the one that doesn't list the word wild, but is a little smaller, but is coming in at the same price. Do you think that's farmed salmon? What do you think? It's kind of deceiving, and they don't put a lot of descriptions in there in terms of, you know, nutrition and whatever, right? They're not being specific outside of maybe there you can read the word wild. Do you see the work I'm creating for myself? Oh. I don't know. So, I might be canning salmon just because I'm being rebellious. Right? And considering what I just opened, I'm not feeling too bad about it. However, I am spending money that I had no intentions of spending, which means I have to go scrounging around for money to pay my bills. So we just want to see what the total is so far with everything that I've got. Yeah, see, I'm already at $275.25. What the heck? It's nothing. No. And I don't even have enough salmon to can. I'd have to buy more because I've only got one of each. Right? This is the fresh pink salmon, headless. I don't need it fresh. I would prefer it, but this one specifically says wild. So we don't need the fresh because that, again, doesn't say wild. It just says fresh, which means it could be farmed, and I don't want that. But I'd go as far as to buy a few more of these because I've already worked with them and I like them and they're really tasty. Well, that's a Sockeye. But these pink ones at $3 a pound? Oh, yeah. Right, so if I bought, say, 4 of them, and they come in various sizes, but 4 would be nice. Maybe. I don't know, just whatever. It's not final, I'm just thinking. This is the big ticket item. Right, the wild whole sockeye salmon, previously frozen, which would mean you'd have to do it, like get them tomorrow and make sure you do them the next day. Like, that's basically what everything would come to a screeching halt. I'd have to clear out as much space as I could, maybe even buy a few jars if I can find them, just to have them on hand. And just do it, right? Oh, yeah. But I wouldn't be satisfied with one because I haven't come across sockeye salmon whole like this at, I guess, $7.99 a pound. So let's just add in 2 and see where it brings us with the bill, being that we took something off. Well, but we also added more. And then we've got the frozen whole sockeye headless gutted. But it doesn't tell us if it's wild or not. It's kind of deceiving because maybe they unthawed these ones and charged a whole lot more money just to say that it was previously frozen. In other words, they unthawed it for you. Where here, it's the same, you know, it could be the same salmon. And they just sorted it out by size. Right? Because economically, this one's the better. Well, no, they come in the same price, don't they? $7.99, $7.99. Yeah, they were coming in at the same price, $7.99, $7.99. So go with the one that specifically says Wild. So we'll remove that one. Yeah, okay. So I'm there now. So you want to go a little over though, in case, you know, because a lot of things I don't want substitutes on, right? I kind of like, just give me what I want, and you know, I'm happy. I don't like it when I order something for $2.99 and then they substitute it with something at, whether it's $3.99 or $4.25. You know what I mean? Because you kind of budget. You're budgeting yourself to the, you know, this is how much it is, and the last thing you need is an extra $60 tacked on. Yeah. But you kind of have to go over the 300 just in case, right? Oh, I don't know. So all I'd have to do is just pick a few other little things. Or remove a few things, but I haven't shopped, really, people, in a whole month. Except Andre going to the grocery store and buying a few little things here and a few little things there, just so he can learn how to do all that. And get out and about and just, you know, gain that self-confidence. Independence that I was talking about. Without being influenced by whoever. So I almost feel compelled to buy this salmon because, again, where did you go? Again, that's 4, 6. The 2 Sockeye is $50.89. Okay, so if we're looking at, see this now, this is where you got to calculate, right, in your head if it's worth it in the long run, because for a can of Sockeye salmon at Canadian Superstore at 213 grams or something like that, you're looking at $6 a can. If you can find them now at Walmart, it's $5 a can. But they ran out, and every time I try and order them, they don't have them, because I got lots here, but, you know, I got this problem. So, so I guess we need a calculator here. We'll just bring up the calculator to kind of keep it, do quick calculate. Try to anyway. Online calculator. Oh, here we go. That's a different kind. Okay, so what are we doing? So there's 2.2 pounds. 2.2 pounds in one. Oh God, I have to write this crap down. I think so. Just do some quick math here. Okay, 213 grams. I'm pretty sure that's what's in a normal can size of canned salmon. Here, I'll just go on Walmart. I was going to order on Walmart, but I'm doing something else instead. So what did they do? Kick me out? I don't know. Oh my Lord. Looks like I got kicked out of Walmart. Wait, no, here we go. Okay, so canned salmon. Let's just be double sure. Because it's important, like this stuff I do is not just, random acts of stupidity, okay? Okay, Sockeye salmon, at Walmart, if you can find them, for 213 grams, and that's including water, people. Okay, that's not including this. That's not just the fish. That's the fish and the water. All right, and people have started to talk about what is that called? They're opening up cans, and they're finding that the product inside is less than it used to be, where, you know, it's like half a can of something, or it's more sauce with less vegetables and all that other crap with it, right? They're selling more liquid than they are, you know, meat and vegetables, if it's like a chunky stew or something like that. Or if it's, you know, a can of beans, you're going to get more sauce with the beans versus the beans. You're not going to get as many beans, right? Because they're more expensive than tomato sauce, right? Well, it'd be the same thing with these canned salmons, right? You know, not, you know, just because it says 213 grams. No, you're not getting 213 grams of salmon. Some of those grams in whatever is, you know, water. So if it's 1,000, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we'll just round it off at 5 cans, okay? And a bit. All right, at $5. So for 1 kilogram, which is 2.2 pounds, you're looking at $25 just for that, for 2.2 pounds. But that's in actual salmon weight versus with water, because you know you're paying for water there, right? Because 1 key is 2.2 pounds. And these salmons are coming in at 3 pounds for the same amount of money, approximately, right? So in that sense, it's a little cheaper to buy it that way. But you still have to pay for the jars if you don't have them on hand already. And I still have jars, so I, you know, whatever. I don't know what I was going to use the calculator for. I suppose it doesn't matter now. Okay, so 3 pounds. 2.2, 3 pounds. Anyway, what does it matter? Salmon in a can can stay years and years and years and years and years and years, just like tuna in a can can stay years and years and years and years and years and years, providing that you keep your ambient temperature pretty consistent. In other words, don't take your box of canned salmon or tuna and put it in your garage and let it freeze over the winter. Sure, it will unthaw and you can still open up the can a year or two later and eat it, providing it's not bulging, right? But it might taste a little tinny because freezing it can change the taste. Whereas if you kept it in the cupboard somewhere low down, you know, wherever, out of sight, out of the dark, I mean, out of the light, in the dark, where it's somewhat little cooler, it can sit like that for years and years and years and years and years. For the most part, right? Whereas with the jar, you know, I mean, like, that's just, the worst you have to worry about is the lid. That's it. The jar, the glass itself is a neutral medium between the food and the outside. It gives off no flavor. It doesn't leach anything, unless, of course, there's something wrong with the jar itself. Well, I don't know if I want to spend this money. I wasn't planning on doing that. I'm trying to avoid going to a grocery store. But then I also want to, you know, just get into my little quote-unquote comfort zone for a while. And canning 6 fish really is no big deal. No. outside of, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be downstairs, gut in the basement where I told you to. You got enough salmon. What's the matter with you? If everybody's problems could be as simple as that. Oh, you ain't running the streets. You're not running around acting like a lunatic. You're not thinking you're some sex kitten at 62 years old. You know, doing whatever. Right? You know what I'm saying? But you do have this issue with salmon and canning potatoes and boiling spinach and dehydrating potatoes and still not satisfied. You just want to carry on with the fucking apples now. Like, seriously, like, what's wrong with you? Psyche. It's right? It's that cortisol. Mm-hmm. But if you notice, I'm being very specific about it. And I almost feel like I have to buy the salmon now. The sockeye especially. Yeah. Because I've never seen a full sockeye salmon, frozen or not, wild, for $25. I think that's a good damn price. It's just, I'd have to do it like the next day. I don't know if I'm up for that. I'm so far behind with everything, you don't even know. But I need something to ground me. Make me feel normal. Yeah. So if I added one more sockeye, it brings my bill to $326.74, and I haven't quite done looking at the flyer yet. In terms of seeing something that I either think I would want, or, oh yeah, I forgot about that, which I actually need some plastic bags. It would make my life easier if I had some plastic bags, but they charge too much in these places for what I could get the same plastic bag at the dollar store for. But then I'm going to want to avoid any store when I go out. And then they got some other wild, fresh, what is this? Wild, fresh, pink salmon. Oh, it says wild. Okay, $3.29. So what would you choose? The frozen one? Wild? Frozen? At $3 a pound? Put it in the fridge. It buys me a day or two as it's slowly but surely unthawing. Or should I buy the fresh one? Because it does say wild right there. At $3.29 a pound, where it doesn't say wild through their advertisement. So maybe the frozen sockeye is wild, but I don't see an advertisement in here for it. Because if the frozen one is wild, and I'm saving $7, well, they're just smaller fish. It's the same amount of money, so it doesn't matter. Outside of having it frozen in your fridge as it's unthawing. I go with the salmon, people, and maybe I'll just leave it on this note. I go with the salmon because it's extremely high in a lot of nutrients, And it has, you know, it's a high fat content in it, right? With a lot of nutrients. Much more than tuna, that's for sure. When I bought the tuna, I only bought the tuna just because it was on sale, and I said, yeah, let's just do it, right? So I don't see another salmon here. I don't know. I'm trying to see. So hard to see. Everything's so blendy. God, we got a lot of stuff here. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. And another reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be productive, but I don't want to be bending, lifting, pulling, carrying, struggling, you know, and right, you know, and you do that all day long and everything. Oh my God. It just gets to be too much after a while. Right? Canning, yeah, you're lifting a little and you're cutting and you're standing there for a while, but it's not as strenuous, that's for sure. No, not as strenuous. It gives my brain some downtime. I don't know where I'd put the jars, though. I don't know where I'd put the jars. I don't think I'd want to put them downstairs. There's really no room in my bedroom, but... And then they got some other kind of fish here. Whole... That's... I don't know what that is. Some other kind of fish. Looks like... Oh my lord. So let me just look and see what's going on. Hold on. Okay, so keep in mind I'm depressed here, right? Now I'm reading up on blue cod, which is not cod. It's a different fish up by New Zealand. But it says here blue cod is healthier than cod, which is not. Blue cod is not a codfish. It comes from a different family. They just call it that. But it's healthier than cod because they have it on sale too. But they're frozen, like when I bought that mackerel, right? Anyway, it has, it's 230% more heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Blue cod also contains more vitamins and minerals like B12, thiam, niacin, folate, magnesium, potassium. Okay, so anyway, so I'm thinking to maybe grab a couple bags of those. Yeah, they're like those little mackerels, I think. Only this is blue cod. Which, of course, we having a problem with the mouse. Oh my lord. Do you see how my mouse mucks around with me? I have to see better. While shopping, I chose regular cod almost all the time due to its availability. Apparently, blue cod is kind of difficult to find. So I'm just doing a quick sweep on this. So these vitamins help. Okay, so in that case, let's see what we can see here. Here we go. There it is right there. Oops. That's it right there. So they've already taken off their heads. We're looking at whole blue cod, frozen, $3 a pound. Yeah. So I'm thinking to maybe try a few of those. In terms of canning, if I do this, because I still might take these things off my order yet. I'm not sure. Okay, so blue cod is a best choice when it comes to a fish with minimal amount of mercury. And cod is pretty much the same as well, right? Compared to, say, tuna. Okay? So that's a bonus. Okay, so apparently this fish comes up by New Zealand. Okay, so it's not a farm fish. It's a wild fish. But if you were to buy fresh farmed raised cod, approximately $9.99 a pound. If it's wild, you're looking at $12.99 a pound, right? It's a fish that isn't always available, so if you find it, you might want to scoop up on it, even if it's frozen, which is the best choice from the FDA, saying in terms of low mercury. That's one of the best choice. Not the good choice, but the best choice, right? So low in mercury, it's comparable to cod, but it has more nutrients than cod, even though it's not really right, but it's similar in texture and all that other crap. As well as it is hard to find, to which kind of is all intriguing me. Yeah, where did my thing go? It's kind of intriguing me. At $3 a pound. Seriously. If you notice my bill, I haven't saved a lot. No. $3 a pound. And it's better than cod. Yeah. And it would be wild. So, I don't know how much is in the bag. A little over a pound and a half. It's a pound and a half per bag. So that's not too bad. Hold on. Okay, so I changed my mind. I decided that I did not want to do any canning. I don't want to can fish. I don't care if it's sockeye salmon, pink salmon, or blue cod. I do in my head, but my body says no. After all this, I had my bill up to $440 or something dumb like that. In the past, it would have been no problem. Just deal. But I don't need salmon, so it's not an emergency. As for the blue cod, well, maybe in the wintertime, assuming I can still see, I'll try it. But as it is right now, I'm bagged, people. You don't even know. So all I did was get one little celery stalk, and even then, I don't want to spend the money, but this is, like, expensive. It adds up very quickly. We've got some carrots, just bag, because I took out a whole bunch of shit, right? Right? And then we've got these carrots, which I removed 3 of them, and those are those big Chinese ones, right? They're a little sweeter. 1 little piece of ginger, the green onions, which I'm going to end up transplanting to fill the gaps, right? 2 jugs of milk, which will be gone in 2.5 days. I am going to buy, this is just 1 head of green lettuce. I should have some in my fridge, but we'll get a fresh one anyway. I cut back on the tomatoes, the beefsteak. Instead of 3, I got 2 now. These I'm only going to get 4 of, just because. And even then, it's not necessary. I cut back on this spinach. I'm only going to get 6, which is coming in at $11, $12. And I will cook those up right away and freeze them, but I'm only going to do 6 bundles, whatever size they are. 3 zucchini, whoop-de-doo. A bag of oranges, whoop-de-doo. 4 eggs on sale for $16.72, right? 2 for $8.36 on sale. right? A better brand. Anyway, I got 4 of those. 1 loaf of bread, just standard. 1 cheap loaf of French bread for, garlic toast, which I never really ever buy, but I thought I'd try it this time for fun. Just a simple generic table syrup. I took out the other one, right? Cheap bag of cat food, assuming that they have it, because they may not have it. And 2 larger sized garlics. And the apples. Only 1 bag. I took out the potatoes because I don't feel like canning even potatoes. I don't feel like canning potatoes. I don't feel like dehydrating potatoes. I don't feel like canning any kind of fish because I'm bagged. Like, after I turn this all off, I'm calling it a night. I'm gonna go lay down and I'm resting. Like, I'm worn out and I didn't do anything. I started dishes. That's as far as I got. I got half of my I got a sink full of dishes and water. Because in my mind, but my mind just calmed down now. And when I take Amari to his appointment, if I really want to, I can pop into a grocery store and pick up a few more little things. Not much. Just enough to put into the buggy and maybe take a bus home. I don't know. I'm not up to spending $35 on a taxi one way. Yeah, it'll cost me anywhere between $70 if I take a taxi there and a taxi back. That's ridiculous. So I think I did pretty good considering I was looking at spending $440. But that was jars and the fish and more fish and 2 bags of big potatoes and extra apples and more lettuce and more spinach and more because I'm gonna do all this stuff, right? Forget it. I don't. First of all, I don't need to. And if I'm gonna spend $50 on Sockeye salmon that's been previously frozen, I could just go off and buy more already canned Sockeye salmon, but honestly I really don't need it, so I shouldn't be sweating it, right? But I'm feeling insecure. That's what it is. I don't even know if I'm going to put up this video. So now I have to decide whether I want to spend $120 for that. You don't really get much for your money. But I haven't done a grocery shop for over a month. Pretty much, almost a month now. So, compared to the good old days, I'm doing pretty good. And I even cut back. Right? So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do.